Now I'm going to talk about a specific type of differential equations that you need to be wary of, and those are the ones that involve natural log. So here's an example. dy dx is equal to x squared y with the initial condition of y of 0 is equal to 4. Just like before, we want to separate in order to figure out what we need to integrate. So in separating, I multiplied by dx, moved it over to the right side. We end up dividing by y and getting dy over y is equal to x squared dx. Now, we integrate both sides, and we get natural log of the absolute value of y, that's important, is equal to x cubed over 3 plus c. My advice on these is don't plug in to find c just yet. Using your initial condition, there is actually a shortcut to this. In these situations where you have natural log and an absolute value, try to remove the natural log first. In this case, the original was natural log of absolute value of y is equal to x cubed over 3 plus c. Raising both sides to the e power, we get absolute value of y is equal to e raised to x cubed over 3 plus c. Notice that the plus c is now part of the exponent, and by our exponent rules, we can now write this as x cubed, e to the x cubed over 3 times e to the c. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a special trick, which I sometimes call the special k trick. We're going to let k equal to plus or minus e to the c. And in doing so, we take care of two things at once. We take care of the e to the c part, and we're able to remove the absolute value, which has now been absorbed into the constant k. In doing so, since e to the c was equal to k, we can now rewrite this as y is equal to k times e to the x cubed over 3. We can find the value of k with the fact that y of 0 is equal to 4 by plugging in 4 for y and 0 for x, and we end up with k is equal to 4. So our solution is y is equal to 4e to the x cubed over 3. You can solve these problems using the technique we talked about before with the plus c, but I find it's often easier to do it this way with k equal to plus or minus e to the c, because it's sometimes tricky to remember whether or not your input, your y value, is negative or positive. One thing that you do need to make sure to watch out for is every time that you do this trick, make sure that you state that k is equal to plus or minus c. That way you're defining your variables here.